Okay, let's continue. The next topic is, is the identified data safe? Usually when we have a data set and we don't want to include the user's information, and usually they're not that important to us in most of the cases. So usually our data is already de-identified, so we can't do a lot of the harmful things. This is true, but not always. And here's the example. In 2005, and Netflix released a 10 million movie ranking by 500,000 customers. So that is a big data set. And though all the personal information data has already been removed, so they are just the people's ranking about the movies they have already seen on Netflix. Okay, so it seems that this is should be easy enough. And again, the problem is not the data itself; it is the auxiliary datasets. Okay, so one of the group of the researcher, what they did was they just take the Netflix dataset, and then they also bring in another auxiliary dataset, which is the IMDb dataset. And then when they combine those two datasets together, and then say if I like movie A, B, and C, and then I hate the movie X, Y, Z. Okay, so and then I may give similar rankings or ratings on Netflix and on IMDb as well. And if I happen to be a user on both IMDb and Netflix, and guess what? Based on my rankings, and they can identify me, because even though in the Netflix my information was de-identified, however mapping the person's ranking or the person's taste, and they can say, okay, I'm 90% sure that user on IMDb is the user we have in Netflix. Even though we don't have the information, uh, we can infer that that person in IMDb is likely to be that user, that anonymous user on Netflix. So, the identified dataset, it is still not safe. Okay, and later in this section, I'm going to make the point that there's no chance that we can have a highly usable dataset, and that dataset is also highly safe. So we can't have both of them at the same time. Okay, and another example in the world of the educational data mining is, there is a dataset posted on Facebook, and it has already been de-identified. And instead of say, this dataset has removed all the personal information as well. It has the list of the student's major, the state or the country of the origin. So that is a safe data, I would say, right? And unfortunately, taking this data, and then the researchers were able to infer that the anonymous Northern East University in this data set is actually Harvard University. And then, they can further narrow it down to the specific group of people, and then they can identify who's the TA, or who run this research. So people is still able to narrow down the information and then figure out who the users are, and then this gives another chance that the personal information might be exposed. And then we want to move on and talk about a Menlo report. Menlo report is one of the important report giving us the guidelines on the things we should be careful in the world of educational data mining. So again, this is more related to the educational setting. However, those rules are also very important in other fields as well. And for the Menlo report, it is based on another even more well-known report called Belmont report. But for the it extended the Belmont report, and it is more focused in computational centric research. Okay, so the first thing, probably this is the most obvious part, is that rule number one is we are gonna we are gonna show the respect for person. Okay, and this is more related to when we start to do a research or when we start to gather the data, and there are the rules that we definitely want to follow. We can't just take other people's data set and people take other people's data, for example the user's data, and then we just do whatever data mining we want to do. We have the tools, but we have to tell the generators of the data to be used that you are going to use the data generated by those people. Oh, that's my wife. Okay. We are going to tell the user that we are going to use their data, and that is called a informed consent. Okay, so we can't just say, okay, we use your data, and then we don't want to tell you, but anyhow we want to use your data, and then that is not ethical. And another thing is, this sentence is very important. So when we are trying to obtain the user's consent, we can't say, if you consent us and allow us to use the data generated by you, and then you are gonna receive a improved service. And in this case, of course, more people will be tempted to use your service or contribute your data. But in this way, we are getting the bias set, and then we are also baiting the users to contribute the data, and this is not ethical. So when you are offering the information and to obtain the informed consent, you need to guarantee that it doesn't matter user agree or disagree of offering the data for you to use, and they should receive the same set of the service. Okay, and you can't be, it can't be like this. So you are offering something as a bait so that the user will sign the consent form or check that box so that you can use the data. So that is not a ethical way to collect the data. Okay, so let me pause here and then make a phone call to my wife, and then I'm going to continue later.